given the bits and pieces we get of your character in the first couple episodes, what the conversations you had with Erica and the writers were about how much you wanted and needed to know before you started playing him and how much you found out script by script.
Yeah. So going in, yeah, because it's so cryptic at the beginning in the first couple episodes, and I only had the first script to read when they asked me to do it. So I was like, what's going on? So they were able to tell me kind of the arc of where they saw the character going over the season, basically kind of his journey, tell me kind of what his real life is. Well, I guess this is all his real life, but his human life, his non-monster life, I like to call it. Um, and that all made it really interesting because this is the first time on the show they're really going home with the unsub and getting to know him and seeing him function in the world. And you start to realize, oh, this could be anyone at the grocery store. It could be my next door neighbor. Like he's just a person, but he does all these horrific things. And it really, I think it will be fun for the audience because when you get to know a character more and more, you start to have feel for them more and more. And then you're gonna have to keep checking yourself and be like, but he's the bad guy. He's the bad guy. He's gross.
So Elias is a much darker character than fans would expect. Did you have a specific approach to getting into the headspace to play such a different role?
I the way I work on anything is kind of like I just do what's on the page, and on the page it's dark. It's like I'm going into shipping containers, I'm doing bad things, and um, when you're in the moment doing these things, you kind of, for me as an actor, you just end up in that headspace, and you kind of think, all right, I know this character, how would they act here and now? And sometimes if it's a long day of filming and doing this stuff, it's a little exhausting. It's nice to get in the car and drive home, but it sometimes takes a minute to just shake it off. And not that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go do dark stuff, but you're just like, ugh, it's just been icky. It feels icky. So yeah, I'm fortunate enough to kind of when I'm doing a scene, I can just kind of be there and be in it, and I don't have to do the thing where I'm like listening to like scary music or something for 15 minutes before they yell action.
I'm curious to know if part of the appeal of playing a character like this is because it's I'd say one of the first times that we're going to see different layers in an unsub, that it's not just going to be black and white. We're going to get into the complexities and what makes this person work. Was that part of why you really wanted to play this role?
100%. You totally hit it on the nose. I think, even if we were tracking this guy for 10 episodes, but really just saw the bad side of him, it would be boring. It'd just be like, all right, let's catch the bad guy. It wouldn't be boring, but it wouldn't be nearly as interesting. And I think the term "it's not as black and white as you might think" is exactly right. I've always said in relations to other things, like everyone was a little boy once. We all come into this world innocent, I believe. Um, and we get into his origin story a bit, and you see sort of how he got put on this trajectory and on this path, and I think you'll find yourself feeling for him, and then you see his normal life and who he is there when he's at his job or whatever it is that he's doing, and it's like, this is a good guy. Like, I like this guy. But then you see him on his dark side, and you're like, ooh, no, no, no. So I think it's going to be really fun for the audience because you're going to find yourself feeling feelings that you never thought you'd feel for an unsub.